is a distinct pleasure to welcome everyone to our 2020 Christmas meeting. This is going to be a great meeting. Before we get started and have Kathy Costanza open us in prayer, just a few little announcements. If you would be so kind, if you haven't already, to silence your cell phones, that would be much appreciated. And I was recently informed that during various meetings there are pockets of conversation throughout the room. So I wasn't aware of that. I can't hear it from up here. But if y'all would just be so kind to make sure you're not talking during the times that anyone is at the microphone, that would be very much appreciated and very, very respectful toward our speakers. Okay, I don't know how many of you all saw Donald Trump's speech yesterday, but I know that we are all unified in thought and heart at this man's courage, because he has to be discouraged at this point. I mean, what can we say? We know the mainstream media, the federal agencies, the level of corruption we can't even describe and the depth of it. So let's all just be sure we continue to pray for him, for the attorneys, for everyone involved in this great effort to expose a level of election fraud that we never dreamed possible in our lifetimes. So you will also notice on your agenda that I put a link to a YouTube video. I know there are many, many good ones. None of them, of course, easily accessible on mainstream media, to say the least. But this is an interview done by Michelle Malkin. She interviewed a gentleman named Joe Altman, who owns a data company. And in the midst of him researching Antifa, he discovered a nuclear physicist who was a vice president, Eric Coomer, of Dominion Voting Systems. He is one of the lead people in charge of strategy and security. It is a 50-minute interview. I truly encourage y'all, if you have 50 minutes, watch it. It is so revealing, and you will not believe the pictures of this guy or his perverse diatribes against Donald Trump. And in one tweet, he assures everybody that Donald Trump will never be president again. This is a vice president of Dominion Voting Systems. So it's worth watching. Yes. Okay. All right. I just want to congratulate our own Lori Adams, who won her election to the Metro Council for District 11. And she's not here with us, but Johanna Landrenew, she ran a wonderful campaign, and we're very proud of her. Okay, I have special thanks. I just want to acknowledge and ask you to stand Carol Whittle. Carol has graciously come forward and agreed to take on our membership chair position. We are so excited and thankful. I also want to acknowledge Mary Margaret Mooch. Where are you? Okay, who has graciously agreed to become our hospitality chair. And we just thank y'all so much. Okay, she just came in. I also wanted to recognize a member, Janet Chance, who walked every door in her neighborhood, 105 houses. Yes. Janet encouraging people to vote for Donald Trump. She was organized with information. She was just terrific. Janet, we need people like you on our board. So, okay. And I also just want to say quickly, some of y'all just aren't able to participate in things for various reasons. Physical concerns about your health during this COVID thing. And that is fine. We just love you, and we're so glad you're here. But I do want to tell y'all that members of the board and various members of the club, like Janet, we have been working our buns off, y'all. I mean, we have been waving signs on Election Day. We have been poll watchers. I will be the super poll watcher for East Baton Rouge Parish on Saturday. Terry did that. for the November 3rd election. Yes, we have walked and knocked on doors and done a bunch of stuff. So I just want you to know that this club has been busy. So, okay. Okay, now I want to recognize some special guests. And I will start with introducing the head table, actually. This is Drew Broccoli. She is our second vice president in charge of fundraising. And because it's Christmas, she is not going to ask y'all for any money today. Okay, and next to her, I've already mentioned Lori Adams, our third vice president. Next to Lori, we are so honored to have our state president, Wanda Ice-Perua. And of course, our special guest speaker, we all love him to death. He needs no introduction, our beloved Lieutenant Governor, Billy Young. And then to his right, these guys never get to sit at the head table. They're so busy taking money and taking care of business. But Susan Kramer, she is just a jewel. Susan is our treasurer, and she does a fantastic job as well as being in charge of community service. And last but by no means least, we are very proud of Terry Hagan. She is our corresponding secretary. And she is a candidate for the Louisiana Republican State Central Committee. And as you've heard, Terry does so many things. Our club could not possibly run without her. So we're glad she's with us today. Okay. Now, for our special guest, I want to recognize, is Diane Cascio here? No, she might have run late. She's from the Attorney General's office, okay? Jill Dyson, our beloved friend on the East Baton Rouge Parish School Board. And Caleb Moore from the Americans for Prosperity. Okay, is Megan Moulter here? Yeah. Megan is from Garrett Ray's office, so thank you so much here.
Thank you guys for your support.
Okay. All right, we have several important folks who have accompanied the Lieutenant Governor here today. I want to recognize Betsy Barnes. She's the press secretary and director of public relations. Where are you, Betsy? Also, Bill Sherman, who is the multimedia producer. Also, Jack McAdams, who is a special advisor to the Lieutenant Governor. And last but certainly not least is John Solier, who is security for the Lieutenant Governor. Oh, well, Kayla was going to introduce him, but that's okay. We'll just acknowledge Austin Langclow, who is now the grassroots director for Americans for Prosperity. He's I didn't realize that, Jack. You are a candidate for the Republican State Central Committee. Okay. Okay, I think that's about it for my duties. So at this point, we are going to ask Ms. Kathy Costanza to come up and do our opening prayer.
Before I pray, I want to ask a question. Does everybody in the room know what a plumb line is? A plumb line. I want you to keep in mind what a plumb line is. And I want to show you, I know you can't all see this, but this and different people at your table have an image that I sent to you. If you don't have it, you can look it up by just looking of a plumb line. And if you can keep this image in your heart and in your eyes to know where we can find this plumb line. You may not be able to find it in common places, but it is a plumb line that has guided us from our founding. It's a plumb line. It's a point of reference. It's hanging over this Bible, the Word of God. Let's pray. Father, we're at a historic moment in America. We're reminded of 1776, 1861, and other times of peril that stirred righteous valor in the hearts of our founding fathers to create, to defend, and preserve our nation. Lord, in 2020, we need that same righteous valor with that secure plumb line. Lord, we're asking you for the light of your truth to expose, to dismantle, and bring to justice all fraud, deception, intimidation by corrupt people, nefarious alliances, dominion machines, lying media, wicked governmental agencies, oppressive leaders, censoring corporations, and all enemies, both foreign and domestic. Lord, give us a nation of patriots who will rise in this historic moment to reject socialism, communism, Marxism, and Nazism. Lord, we ask you to empower us, all of us, with moral courage to reset America's plumb line, the plumb line of truth. Lord, we ask you to enable us to balance the scales of eternal justice and embrace our destiny, America's destiny, Lord God, as that beautiful city set on a hill. Lord, let us arise so that we can continue to be a beacon, a righteous beacon of life, of freedom, and liberty for all people. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen?
Amen.
We believe, because God answers prayer, America will be saved.
Okay, and now I'm going to ask our Armed Forces Chair, Sandra Campbell, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I just want to mention quickly, I neglected to mention, I want to acknowledge Diane Andrews over here, if you want to wave, Diane. Diane is she's the Assistant Director to the Louisiana Blexit. For those of you who are not familiar with that organization, it's the Louisiana chapter of the movement started by Candace Owens. It stands for the Louisiana Black Exit from the Democratic Party. Diane has written a book from the knowledge she's gained through many interviews. She has a talk show host. They are on this table about COVID-19. It's great information, and she is selling those for $10 for anyone who is interested. Okay, also, I just want to point y'all, there is, because it's Christmas, there's a little wine bar in the back. We do have to ask you to pay for that. It's $7 a glass, but it's the Christmas season. Feel free to participate. And then we also have our coffee bar in the back. Okay, and with that, I want to invite our first Vice President, Lynn Cox Graham, to come up and have a word with us about committees.
Hey guys, and Merry Christmas. I'm so glad
glad to see all of y'all. It's so good to gather in a group, isn't it? I just want to basically, well, first of all, I do want to thank Carol Whittle and Mary Margaret for agreeing to be committee chairs this coming year for 2021. But what you don't know is starting next month on your tables, we hope to have a list of all the committees. And we need more committee chairs, and we need more volunteers. We need y'all really badly to help us with everything so we can grow this club and do more for the Republican Party. So please take this little seed I'm trying to plant in your head and be thinking about between now and next month what your talents might be, what your wants might be, your likes. And no job is too small and no job is too large. We need every one of you. We do. And we also delight in new members. And we have, thank you. We have associate memberships available for $40. And you guys, we need each one of y'all to sign up to be associate members. And of course, we need our active ladies to be active members, and that's $40. And you become a member of not only our club, but the LFRW, Louisiana Club, and National Confederation of Republican Women. So it's like joining 3 clubs in one. So please, if you are a member currently, today's a great day to renew your membership. Come see me or Terry Hagan, and we'll be happy, or Susan Kramer, any of us will be happy to help you. So be thinking about those committees, y'all, okay? We need you. Bye-bye.
Okay, and now I'm going to invite Terry Hagan, who is a candidate for the Republican State Central Committee, to come to the microphone.
I'm real excited to announce, and some of y'all already know, I'm running for a seat on the Republican State Central Committee, and as is Jack McAdams. We're in different districts, so we're not running against each other. So you can vote for one or the other. But anyway, for those of y'all who don't know, the RSCC is the governing volunteer body of the state party. It consists of about 200 members across the state. So I would just encourage you, if you have not already early voted, please go vote. We have an election day tomorrow, Saturday, December the 5th. And if you see either my name or Jack's name on the ballot, please vote for us, okay? So I appreciate it, and I want to thank several members of the club that kind of helped me in my campaign, knocking on doors and making phone calls. So I just want to give all of y'all a shout out. I feel like I've been very well supported. So this has been a great experience, and it all ends on December the 5th. So get out and vote. Thank you.
Okay, and now it's my pleasure to invite to the microphone the Grand Poobah himself, the president of the Young Republicans in Baton Rouge, and he's also the vice president of the statewide Young Republicans. Here's Taylor Moore.
Thank you all for having us. We really appreciate it. Good afternoon. I know Ms. Drew will not be asking you for money today, but I will be, so Merry Christmas. I'm excited to share with you the relaunch of the Greater Baton Rouge Young Republicans. For decades, Young Republicans have been a key force in helping to recruit, train, and mobilize young conservatives across the country. We're getting excited to work right here in the Greater Baton Rouge area. Already this year, our organization has seen an over 200% increase in membership in Baton Rouge, despite COVID since January. But we can't continue to bring in young conservatives without your help. In order to keep increasing our growth, we need your general financial support. Your donation helps fund activities for our club that enable us to recruit new members, equip our young Republicans with the tools they need to take on the left and win, and mobilize our membership to work to elect Republicans up and down the ballot. With people like Terry, Jack, Steve Carter on the ballot, right now is when we need that grassroots lift, and people our age usually have around the most time to do it. We just need to go out and find them first so we can bring them to where they need to go. With your help, we can turn the tide among the youngest generation, which is the fastest growing voter bloc, but it is also the one shifting most drastically to the radical ideas of socialism pushed by the left. Please consider supporting our efforts to push back harder today. We can accept cash or checks made out to Greater Baton Rouge Young Republicans, or you can visit gbryr.com/support to donate as well. Austin Monclove, who is right there, will be staying after the meeting. I have to head out early to receive contributions and pick up the collection. Also on your tables, you can find what are usually different collection. We're going to be using those for donations. If you want to put them in those buckets on your table, we can collect that as well. So I want to thank you so much for having us, and quickly make an announcement. I'm going to switch out of Young Republicans and go into Americans for Prosperity, which is where I work full time. And I want to introduce to you Austin Monclove, who we were introduced to earlier as our new grassroots engagement director, taking over for me here in Baton Rouge. And also let you know, on a less fun note, our Christmas party tomorrow has been canceled due to new COVID regulations. So I'm very sorry to tell you all that. But thank you so much, and we hope to have your support for the Greater Baton Rouge Young Republicans.
And now we have one more item before we introduce the Lieutenant Governor. We got to get this party rocking. So we are so fortunate to have Butch Mine offer to come and do a couple of Christmas songs for us. So he is going to put us in the mood. Thank you, Butch.
Yes, indeed. This is time. Well, there's something make us happy nowadays for sure. It's going to be sing-along songs, so y'all help me with this. You know, dancing and prancing and Oxford and Dixon, Comet and Cupid, Donna and Dixon. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph play any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, sing along with me, had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glowed. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer game. Oh, then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go go down in history. Thank you. All right. Here's what everyone sings every Christmas. You sing along, listen to it if you want to. Bells will be ringing, the glad, glad news. Oh, what a Christmas to have the blues. My baby's gone, I had no friend to wish me greetings. Once again, choirs will be singing Silent Night, Christmas carol by candlelight.
Y'all been good?
There'll be no sorrow, no breathing pain, and I'll be happy. Happy once
Way better than the
again.
first. Right.
Friends and relations
Oh yeah, okay.
send salutation.
Oh yeah, he came back with it.
Sure as the stars shine above. This is
Mine,
Christmas,
I had it at the end of July.
Christmas, my dear.
In July,
The time of year to be with the one you love. Then won't you tell me you'll never more wrong?
That was terrible.
Christmas and New Year
When we went to Wyoming,
will find you home.
Republicans there got
Please come home for Christmas. Please come home for Christmas.
boring in the ranches.
If not for Christmas, by New Year's night. Please come home for Christmas. If not for Christmas, by New Year's night. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Butch, and we'll hear again from Butch to close us out at the end of our meeting. Right now, it's my pleasure to introduce our third Vice President and Program Chair, Lori White Adams, to introduce our distinguished Lieutenant Governor, Billy Nungesser.
Hello. All right, our guest today has been called the hardest working man in Louisiana by none other than the New York Times. It was the one time I agreed with them. And if you believe what you read in the Hayride, Mr. Nungesser could soon be called governor. I think some of these ladies read the Hayride. As our current Lieutenant Governor and head of Louisiana Culture and Tourism, Billy Nungesser has approached this year's COVID challenge just like he has every other challenge he has faced as a businessman and as president of Plaquemines Parish with creativity, energy, and passion. He recently announced a partnership with Tinter for the creation of 60 glamping sites in Louisiana's 8 state parks. He has proposed a plan to revitalize the French Quarter by making it a separate district from the rest of the city. In October, he launched Taking It to the Streets to highlight restaurants and businesses open and ready to accept guests. Currently, he is working with state and local leaders to devise new, safe ways to celebrate Mardi Gras in 2021. You're not giving up on Mardi Gras, huh? Us neither. This Christmas season, Billy Nungesser is leading the charge to support small businesses in Louisiana and encouraging all of us to help our friends and neighbors by committing to shop locally. Mr. Nungesser, we are with you on that one, and we are very grateful for your efforts on behalf of the state of Louisiana. Ladies, I'm so pleased to introduce to you our Lieutenant Governor, Mr. Billy Nungesser.
God, it feels great to hug somebody. Thank y'all for having me. And to the young Republicans, I'm going to get your address and send you a check. And I was just speaking to the President, Madam President, I've been wanting to put together an event like the Elephant Stomp that used to raise money for the party. And I said, if Lewis don't come around and do it, we ought to do something at the museum. And I'll cover the cost at the museum during session and make all those legislators that y'all help get elected, write a check back to the Republican women to give you some money. And if the young Republicans help, I'm sure they'll give you a little of that money as well. And while we're talking about money and fundraising, I would encourage all of you to go to the 2 sites in Georgia and make a $5 or $10 donation to show support for those 2 critical seats that could change this country forever. But don't give all your money, because you'll soon be getting a text from me to give $5 or $10. Every night my wife tells me who makes those small donations, and I got to tell you, my goal is to get 10,000 donations when the reports come out next year, because I won't accept money from anyone that wants anything other than good government. And since that rumor started about the governor either getting an ambassadorship or a job, I was offered more money from more groups, and I said, no thanks. You can send me a small check, that all you get is good government for that, because that's just the way I was raised. And you realize how much money floats out there in elections that want certain things, and I just can't ask you to vote for me if I get in bed with those groups. So whether we get there by that or we run, we'll do it on the backs of people like yourself with small donations. That means the world to me. So save $5 to give to me besides Georgia. Thank you. So, we're all up against all the other states to bring back tourism. But we've got more tools in our toolbox than any other state. So I'm confident we're not going to crawl back into tourism. We're going to bounce back with a bang. And I'll tell you some of the ways we're going to do that today. But we're coming off our 4th record-breaking year. Last year, 53.2 million people visited little old Louisiana. That's incredible for a state our size. And they left behind $1.9 billion in taxes that you and I didn't have to pay. That's over $1,100 per family. So that's a big hole in the state budget that we need to fill. And so how are we going to do that? So we rolled out this month the Sunshine Plan. You see, we see light at the end of the tunnel. And that is the Sunshine Plan. And it's a 4-phase plan. It's the staycation first, which many of you have been doing, and talking about those great cities and towns, supporting local communities. And as a matter of fact, Natchitoches, Lafayette have seen numbers right below last year because of staycation. And then we've been promoting the regional trips. If you've seen the promotion, stay 3 nights at a state park, get the 4th night free. Well, we've had people coming from 11 states driving in. One couple stayed at 9 state parks from Arkansas. They took advantage of the 4th night everywhere around Louisiana. So we're going to be continuing to do promotional things to bring people into Louisiana on those regional drive trips. And then the 3rd market, which is not back yet, and that's when people feel comfortable getting back on a plane. And then, of course, the 4th is the international market. And that has been one of our fastest growing markets, and those people spend more money here than anyone. So, but we're not waiting for that day when we can market back overseas. We've been getting our team, and I want to thank my team here today. I'm blessed to have some incredible, passionate people working not only in my office throughout the Lieutenant Governor's departments. What we've been doing is we sent a little package to all the travel agents in Canada, and we sent them a glass and a little mix to mix a Sazerac. And we got a bartender out on the riverfront to show them how to make the drink. And then I toasted them, and I said, look, the gumbo's hot and the beer's cold. When you're able to come back to Louisiana, we welcome you. And we're doing things like that in Germany, France, to keep those people hungry for Louisiana. As a matter of fact, on July 1st, we were able to light up the governor's mansion and the Superdome red and white for Canadian Day. And we got letters and emails, that picture meant all over Canada that we were thinking of them on their special day to keep them hungry for Louisiana. And our team is doing that on a weekly basis. So when they're able to travel again, we bounce back quickly with those foreign visitors. Now, something else we've been doing, and if you belong to any groups, we've been reaching out to every convention and group that canceled anywhere in the country this past year. And if you redirect your conference or meeting here to Louisiana, we'll give you free Louisiana seafood the first night and a local band or musician to play. Now, we moved the water ski championship several months ago here to Baton Rouge, to a lake right outside of Baton Rouge, 800 water skiers, and all we had to do was buy the 80 judges, charboiled oysters, and dragons. And that filled up the hotels here for 11 days. But we're reaching out to any group to redirect them here. As a matter of fact, if you know someone, I will call them personally. I called a gentleman that's over 500 veterinarians, and they were looking to relocate. They canceled their convention in Chicago. And I asked him, would you consider Louisiana? We'll give you free Louisiana seafood and a great local band of musicians. He said, is this really the Lieutenant Governor? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, look, I'm going to have to poll my members to see, but that sounds pretty inviting. But he said, listen, could you do me a favor? He said, I just pulled in my driveway, and my wife was never going to believe the Lieutenant Governor called me. Could you stay on the phone for a minute and talk to my wife? I said, sir, if you move to Louisiana, I'll talk to all your kids. Put them on the phone. And I did. I told all those kids hello, and we're waiting to hear back. So those are the kind of things that we're doing with an incredible team. So we will fill the calendar up, and we will bounce back quicker than anyone. And it's because we've got great partners all over the state. We were able this year to give out grants to the Bed and Breakfast Association, Restaurant Association, Main Street, Breweries Club, all of these separate groups that know best how to market their group. And they're short funding, so we've been supporting those groups as well as giving a check to every convention and visitor around the state. And they spend it on marketing, and we will match it 100%. But there's places like DeRidder know how to best promote DeRidder, Lafayette, and we want them to put their plan together and utilize what's at our disposal to best market their area. And we've found over the last several years, the local people know best how to do it, and we just support them and back up their plan. Now, one of the things we've been promoting is Take a Louisiana Road Trip. It's the year of the road trip. And Bill and his team has been going all over the state, interviewing business, small shops, elected officials about the great things to do in their community. He continues to circle the state doing that till everything is back open, encouraging people to go visit those places and go support those local businesses. And I'm going to give you a sample of one that we've done. And if you want us to do one in your area somewhere, you just call us up, and then we share them and put money behind them on social media, and it's working. Some of the places we've been promoting have never been promoted before. Swamp tours, places to eat, little shops, and it's really helping put them on the map and helping them keep the doors open in these tough times.
I will tell you that we're doing this. Reminding you to take a Louisiana staycation, but don't take it from me. Take it from these great Louisiana guys.
I'd like to invite everyone to a staycation in my neck of the woods, which includes Alan, Evangeline, This is far from just a tree farm. This place is chock-a-block with amazing activities like a petting zoo and a winter wonderland gift shop that is so cool and unique. If you want to sample some of the best cuisine, then you have got to visit Bowles Parish. I've never had a bad meal there. If you're looking for family fun, don't miss the ever so popular Gator Grounds and RV Water Park. As you can see, there's lots to do in the heart of Louisiana, so I invite you to staycation with us.
Another outdoor location for your next vacation would be Crooked Creek Recreation Park, located in northeast of Anvil Parish. Crooked Creek has over a 400-acre lake for boating and fishing. It has a beach for the children. It has primitive camping spots, RV spots, cabins, nature trails, and events throughout the year for your family to enjoy. It's one of my personal favorites because it's located between my hometown of Crooked Creek and Pine Creek, where they have smoked meats, bait, ice, and groceries, everything you need for camping. Why don't you come out and enjoy a little piece of my heaven?
Louisiana's a trip, so take one today, right here in Louisiana. After all, it's yours. Go to LouisianaStaycation.com to learn more.
So those are working. People are going and visiting some of these places that have never had the ability or the wherewithal to market their town, their city. So we're going to do this and keep circling the state, exciting people about seeing their state, Louisiana. Now, this is something we unveiled last week, a couple weeks ago, glamping. I had no clue what that was. As a matter of fact, my wife had to correct me. I said cramping. There's no, it's glamping. But if you've ever wanted to camp outdoors, didn't want to buy all the gear and didn't want to sleep on the ground, we did a private-public partnership. They set up a tent on a wooden platform. You've got a bed with a mattress, a fire pit, a barbecue pit, and they're placed in unique places in 8 of our state parks, 64 locations. Now, if you really want to be adventurous, you can take a canoe to an island to stay in one, or you can hike down 3 or 4 miles down a trail in the middle of the woods, or if you're not so adventurous, you can drive right up to some and park the car right next to it and step right into the tent. But right now, we have a special of $89 a night, and it's a great opportunity to experience the outdoors. The weather's perfect for it, and it's really going to add not only another thing to do at the state parks, but I didn't know this, but people go all over the country glamping. We've already got bookings from people from other states excited now because glamping is in Louisiana. So make sure you let people know about this new great opportunity in our state parks.
How do we find the list of those locations?
You go to LouisianaStateParks.com. Thank you. I should have said that. Thank you. So I wanted to take a minute to give a shout out to the 10,000 volunteers that signed up and volunteer under our office, Volunteer Louisiana, and all the AmeriCorps partners that come in from out of state after every hurricane to help out. And especially this year, when we had the first hurricane to hit our shores as a powerful hurricane and leave North Louisiana as a hurricane, and devastated every parish it touched. The magnitude of tree removal, gutting homes, was unbelievable. And these volunteers spread out across Louisiana helping residents from the first day. And they're still out there feeding people, showing support. And as someone that rode out Katrina and rescued people that lived with me for months I didn't even know, and is actually the reason I ran for office, because I got aggravated I didn't see a politician. I know what it's like when someone shows up and gives up their time to help out in your community. So these volunteers are really heroes here in Louisiana, and I tell you, I just finished a year as president of the Lieutenant Governors Association, and they're all asking, how do y'all have so much volunteer help? And that's what Louisianans do. We put our differences aside and help our neighbor in time of need, time and time again here in Louisiana. It makes you so incredibly proud to be from Louisiana, because let me tell you, this doesn't happen in a lot of other states, to have so many people reach out and help their neighbor. I tell people all the time, it must be something in the soil that makes people so kind and generous here in Louisiana, and it's one of the things I'm most proud of. Now, one of the things that I'm really proud of our team is we knew we had to bounce back with a splash. Now, the second most recognized song in the world, next to Happy Birthday, is You're My Sunshine, right here in Louisiana. So we wanted to add a new flair to it. So we've been partnered for the last 4 years with Lauren Daigle, sponsored her tour around America, around the country. We had just signed to partner with her on an international tour when the COVID shut it down. But we knew we had to help get that out there and use her stardom and her beauty to really promote Louisiana. So we went and bought the rights to You're My Sunshine and got her to re-record it. It's absolutely so beautiful. Her agent has bought the rights to put it on her next album. So, and we don't have a signed deal yet, but we're working on, while the rest of the country has canceled New Year's Eve celebration, Times Square, Nashville, LA, there will be no live shows or dropping of the ball. We don't want to shut down Louisiana. So we were working on 5 minutes on Dick Clark when more people are going to be home watching this year than ever. And every year we do it because New Year's Eve, you're making your plans for next year. Your New Year's resolution. Mine's always to lose weight. It doesn't work every year. But honey, where are we going to go on vacation? Well, you want to see something exciting. So our plan was to be up over Jackson Square, drop the fleur-de-lis, and honor our hospital workers. 5 minutes live with Lauren Daigle singing Old Lang Syne. Well, you saw the thing on TV where the mayor got upset that she sung at Jackson Square and prayed for the people who lost their jobs. Well, the mayor told me I can't do it if I'm going to use Lauren Daigle. And she suggested some other singers. So we're working on getting Warren Ruther's Louis Armstrong boat docked at Gretna. New Orleans will be in the background. We'll just go across the river and do it. But Lauren Daigle will be singing. So she'll either be singing it there or we won't do it. And I'm not going to pay for something that I'm being told how we're going to do it. So I'm looking forward to answering your questions. I'm going to share a video with you. I also want to thank John Goodman. John Goodman, these are going to be broken into 30-second commercials. John Goodman recorded an upbeat version, and he didn't want to get paid. He said, no, I love Louisiana. I'll do whatever you need to promote the state. So go to his page and thank him. John Goodman is a great ambassador. So enjoy the video.
Spun around and put it down in a brighter
and you can go to our type in staycation 22828 and get our newsletter of all the new exciting things we're doing around the state every month. And with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions. Don't embarrass me. Yes, ma'am.
I was questioning you about the French Quarter becoming a national park.
Yes. So she asked me about the French Quarter and what we're doing down there. We've opened an office, and I've moved one of my staff to the back of the Cabildo to work exclusively on this. I think it's that important. For the last 7 years, New Orleans, 3 things have been trending down: cleanliness, crime, and new attractions. And knowing that after the shutdown, we can't afford, excuse me, to crawl back into tourism. We've got to come out of this with a clean, safe French Quarter. A lot of people, I didn't realize how important that was to the tourism of the whole state. People think Louisiana's in New Orleans, not the other way around. So that's why this is so important. I will go in front of the New Orleans City Council on the same day I give the mayor the package. And the French Quarter District, which has a vote, they impose their own tax for police protection. The vote's Saturday, they're voting against it because the mayor took that money to take it away from police protection and give it to unarmed, I think she calls them friendly officers. It ain't gonna work. So what we want to do is we want the downtown French Market District to manage the quarter. I looked around the country, and in San Diego, the gas lamp district was crime, horrible. They took it away from the city. It's the #1 tourist attraction. Restaurants came back, families came back. The French Quarter was on before COVID. I'm fearful it won't survive if we don't fix the streets, get rid of the beggars on the street, and make it safe. And so in this proposal, I'm asking the mayor to let me help manage this for 3 years. If I mess it up, she can blame me. If it works, she can take credit as the mayor that saved the French Quarter. Now, I did the same thing to Mitch, and he wouldn't have it. It's very difficult for politicians to give up control of anything. But there's not enough voters in the French Quarter for them to ever put the energy and effort into cleaning it up. And the legislature is not giving money to New Orleans because it never seems to get where it's supposed to go. And I've talked to most of the legislators. They will support this in any way because they know the importance. I tell people, I said, what do you think? I said, I think we got embarrassed into doing the right thing. I'm not sure we can do that, but I don't think failure is an option here. I think you could see, worst case scenario, the French Quarter boarded up and crime rampant. And we're determined. We've got every group behind us. And we want everyone to have a seat at the table. I don't want to take anything away from anybody. I just want to clean it up and make it safe. And you just got to care enough to make that happen. So I'm confident we can get that done. But we've been delayed because I've been in trouble getting public requests on the money they spend on certain things. We did get 220 street lights that can be donated with 5G and cameras in them. But I want every street light in the corner to have a camera. So if somebody robs somebody, we can track exactly where they go and put up a bank of cameras in that police station. So we're watching every place in the quarter. That's the way you clean it up. If they know they're going to get caught, they're going to go somewhere else. So, yes, ma'am.
I want to say thank you. Because as New Orleans goes, as we know, Louisiana sits in New Orleans. New Orleans, just as you just said.
Yes, ma'am. I was in China and they said, where is Louisiana? Is that near New Orleans? I'm like, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
I don't know if there's a rumor, but you know how things just go these days. I hear the governor's considering locking us down again. Have you heard anything?
I have not. And I'll tell you this. I get a lot of criticism. Jimmy Fitzmaurice endorsed me when I ran, and he made me promising 2 things. Because most people said I couldn't win. I only had 8,000 votes from Plaquemines Parish, and I was running against the two biggest parishes. But he said, no matter who wins governor, I want you to promise you're not running against them, and you'll never talk bad about him in public. I said, sure. Jimmy endorsed me. I never thought a Democrat would win. But 2 weeks after the election, he called me, and he said, don't forget you gave me your word. And I sat down a week later to go, and I gave you my word. For the job I have to do, it's the best decision I made as Lieutenant Governor. I've been able to call any of his departments. For a lot of our Republican friends who gets things done, I could never do. And I got to sit next to him every week with a video conference with the president during the COVID thing. As a matter of fact, when we were in phase 2, I thought he was going to delay it 2 weeks. And I said, look, the numbers are down. Go to 3. If they go up, we can go back. Well, that day he quit, and if you notice, the governor got and said, look, we're going to go to 3. I'll give you my plan tomorrow. So having that influence and that seat at the table, but we haven't had a meeting since the election. The president has not called one. But I don't think so, is my answer. I just want to explain to you I think there may be some adjustments to where we are now, and I'm optimistic that after the first of the year, as the vaccine gets out, things will loosen up. I am concerned because so many people flew out of town and came back that we'll see a great spike. And I think the only way, just in my conversations, you'll see it ratchet back anymore is if the hospital and the ventilator thing gets at a crucial level to where if you had a heart attack tonight, they'd have nowhere to bring you. So I think those numbers will designate if we roll it back anymore. But the next couple of weeks are going to be crucial, what's happened through Thanksgiving and those numbers. But I hope not, because I've spent all weekend trying to rearrange weddings and things that were planned with 300 people that are being told they can only have 75. And that's got to be horrible for a couple starting up their life together to now. They pay for the caterer and they say, nope, you can only cater for 75, you're not getting your money back. And you send out 300 invitations. I just can't imagine what that's like. So we're trying to rebook them at larger places and help everybody out we can. And I think a lot of times mayors and people don't look at all of the costs of that when they make those decisions. And that's why I had arguments with the medical people. I know, look, I don't want anybody to lose their life. But when you put those things in place, you've got to think of not only the economic, the personal expense and things that cost people that have things planned and paid for and juggle that. You don't have to go to the wedding if you don't want to, but you can't, make a decision today that affects what's already been planned, and unfortunately that's what's happened.
I just want to say I understand and I respect that you have a good relationship with the governor.
It's hard sometimes.
That's good, but I question his motives myself.
Well, and let me tell you this. I was pretty outspoken during the oil spill because nobody was helping. And I tried to work with everyone, and I'm very honest and upfront about the way I feel. You ask me about, I'll tell you. But when I go on TV or I do an interview, I think about the greater good. And the greater good of all of Louisiana. And, a lot of my friends say, Billy, it would help you politically if you got up there and said this. I said, yes, but it's not going to help me do my job. And I got to do my job first and worry about politics later. And we need more people to do that. So I do that every day. I get up and I say, as long as I'm doing what I believe in my heart is the best thing for all Louisiana, because they pretty cruel, some people, and I understand it. There's a lot of passion right now, what's happened nationally and all, but I got a job to do here in Louisiana for all Louisiana, and I got to put that first. Yes? One more? Sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Do we have the Dominion voting systems here? I read that we do have that machine.
Yeah, we did.
Well, I know they made a purchase of it, and there was a problem with the contract, and I don't know if it ever went through or Kyle had canceled it, but I've heard, but I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
That could be a factor, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, well, on behalf of the club, I'd like to thank you for working hard on behalf of Louisiana every day and also for showing up
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
We are very blessed to have such a fantastic, passionate lieutenant governor. Yeah, we love the Okay, we just had a surprise visit from a gentleman who is very important in the goings-on Saturday. I want to welcome Steve Carter.
Thank you, Debbie. I'm going to be very, very brief. We're at the final stretch of where we are, trying to defeat the mayor. Give you a quick update. We have a great game plan. I've got a great staff. Where's Lauren? Lauren's here somewhere in the back. And all of you that are interested in trying to assist either through phone calls or sign wave or what have you, Lauren is here to help. I understand some people have asked to do it, and we've been struggling getting, but I thought we've covered everything. So Lauren is here to take your names and stuff if you'd like to. What we've got is, we've got to get the vote out. I mean, that's just the bottom line. I hate to say it, it seems simple, but it's not simple. In order to get the vote out, what we have done is, Billy will be shocked at what I'm getting to tell you. First, let me thank all of you that made a contribution to the campaign, because I'm going to tell you where some of the dollars went. We felt like if we didn't touch people, particularly in my old House district where they did not go vote for Bodie White. Bodie only lost by 4,500 votes. But the South Downs area, the Pollard area, the Kenilworth area, and a few areas there did not go vote. So what we decided to do, I'm spending $86,000 on door knockers, walkers, professional walkers. They're going around identifying all of those people, and any that says that they're going to go vote, or possibly going to go vote, or going to vote for me, we've identified them, and next thing we do is we give them a phone call. Next thing we do, we give them a text. The next thing we do, we give them a phone call. Next thing we do, we give them a text. In other words, we're on top of them, and we got to make sure that they go to the polls and vote. If we can get, now the turnout was extremely light, as you well know, and it was expected in early voting. But if we can get people to go vote, so I'm going to challenge you to do this, but before I do that, let me thank Terry. Where's Terry Hayden? You got a large number of people to volunteer to go knock on doors. And I want to personally thank you for that, because, this day and time, Billy knows this, it's a totally different ball game with the virus. I can't go knock on doors. I enjoy it. I enjoy meeting people. I can't. In fact, we had to cancel one of the debates because my son got the virus, and I was with him a good bit, and I had to go get tested, and fortunately I'm negative, and I quarantined myself, and I was negative the second time too, about 7 days later. But it's tough times right now. To raise dollars, you have to get on the phone. You can't have an event. It's tough. It's hard. So I just want to thank you, Terry, because what you did, went above and beyond what was expected of us. And also, we have a super poll watcher here, Carol Thomas. So here's my challenge. I know it's late. We need to leave, but y'all had a great lunch. I'm challenging each of you to rent or have a pickup truck. I want you to tie a rope on the back of it. And I want you to find 15 people and tie them to the back of that pickup truck and drag them to vote. If you don't do that, well, you're not going to win. Laurie knows that. Laurie won. I'm looking forward to working with Laurie. We've got some great ideas for this parish. We've got problems. And in order to solve the problems, we've got to make sure that the current mayor is not reelected. So thank y'all for what you do. So thank y'all very much. But again, don't forget the pickup truck and the road. We've got to drive for the road. So thank y'all very much. So if you need to touch base, if you want to help, assist, whatever, touch base with Laura. I know we only have a couple of days left, but we do have people that are making calls, sign waving, etc. So if you're interested in doing anything, please touch base with Laura. Thank y'all very much.
one more quick presentation before we ask our distinguished state president, Wanda, to conduct the installation of our 2021 officers. And we just wanted to give some special recognition to somebody who is so supportive of our club and does not get any recognition. So we have a little presentation for that individual. So I just want to tell you a little bit about him. He is a chef extraordinaire. He is a well-recognized barbecue champion. He is a talented writer and editor. He writes letters to the Advocate. He is a constant, steady, conservative advocate. And last but not least, he's our photographer, our videographer, whenever we need him. For those who walked and knocked on doors for Terry, he made us meals absolutely to die for. And last but not least, he is a devoted husband to Terry Hagan. We want to thank Riley Hagan.
We would like to thank Debbie Keeney for her excellent leadership for 2020. All of you know Debbie. She's personality plus, friend in a minute, warm and fuzzy, always smiling, very genuine. Just a very, very likable person. But what you don't know is what goes on behind the scenes. Her leadership skills are unparalleled. She brings us all together as a team. She's very organized. She has excellent follow-up, follow-through, and an uncanny ability, sorry, I forget about this, ability to delegate to her board. She's positive, she's confident, she's always asking for our input, our opinions. What you don't know about her is she's very, very humble. Her presidency is not about Debbie. She's the least me, myself, and I person I've ever met. So we are very thankful to have her, and we look forward to a better 2021. Thank you. We have a gift for her. Thank you.
Thank y'all so much. It's been a privilege and a joy. And we do look forward to a great 2021, and we're going to pick up and move forward with some endeavors we began in 2020. For instance, next year we will probably have one lunch meeting in North Baton Rouge. We're going to take the good counsel of some of our African American conservative leaders, if y'all were at that meeting, and we are going to try to reach into that community and maybe partner a little bit with the Louisiana Blexit group to make some inroads, because however this presidential election ends, y'all know as well as I do, we're in serious times, and there's a lot at stake, and we have to keep pushing forward with the grace of the good Lord. So that's what we plan to do. Thank y'all.
Great.
Okay, Miss Wanda, are you ready to do the installation? And if I can have our executive board members come up. treasurer. She's not over this. Susan Kramer. Susan Kramer. I'm thinking, you, the newly elected officers of the East Baton Rouge Parish Republican Women, are about to enter upon your respective duties. In accepting these posts, you are assuming a leadership role among Republicans, and therefore you are setting an example, one that requires the best energy and devotion of which you are capable. In accepting this post, do you promise to exert every possible effort to conduct local club activities that will attract women in your community who believe in the Republican Party and its principles, and in electing Republicans to all levels of government? To that end, I ask you to raise your right hand and repeat after me your oath of office. I solemnly swear to live up to the provisions of the governing laws of the Louisiana Federation of Republican Women and the bylaws of the East Baton Rouge Parish Republican Women and to discharge all duties incumbent to my office to the best of my ability. Do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, as well as the governing laws of the National Federation of Republican Women, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely and without mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of which you are about to enter, so help you God. Then I declare the women duly installed as the East Baton Rouge Parish Republican Women Officers for 2021. Close out this meeting, and Butch is going to close us out with a rocking song. But first, if you have an agenda in front of you, I want you to just flip it over. Okay? I wanted to do one song that reminds us of the real reason for this season. So, unfortunately, I'm just going to start us off a cappella, so y'all got to put up with me. And we're going to sing, "Oh Come All Ye Faithful." Okay? So here we go. Oh, come all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Sing, choirs of angels, sing in exultation. O come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. O come, let us adore him. O come, let us adore him. O come, let us adore him, my great honor to look forward very much to seeing you all back at our January meeting on the 4th Thursday. We are looking so forward to kicking off that meeting in a great way. We're going to have the popular and humorous conservative talk show host Moon Griffon. Yes, from Lafayette, and y'all know he doesn't pull any punches, so we're going to learn a lot from Moon. So with that, y'all have a blessed and Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next year. And Butch is finished. Oh, door prizes. Oh, sorry, I forgot.
That's all right.
Okay.
Okay, the door prizes, underneath one chair at each table is a ticket. So you need to look under your chairs to see if you have a winning ticket. Whoever has a winning ticket at each table is the centerpiece. The poinsettia. The poinsettia. The poinsettia. Just the potted plant. Come on, Betsy. Betsy.
This one was on the ground when I got here. Maybe it fell off.
Do you want a poinsettia?
I don't know. But I'd rather like someone be.
I think this is the one because it was taped to the chair. I think that was probably just a leftover from some other event.
I'm just worried that she named like 5 different tickets and none of them were in.
I'm going to pick three tables at random. And the person who won the poinsettia gets to pick the person at their table who wins one of these prizes. So the three tables running down the middle. The three tables running down the middle. Whoever won the poinsettia gets to give away the bag to one of the people at your table. So the three tables running down the middle. So whoever won the poinsettia gets to choose the next winner.
I had to go check the donations.
Yeah.
Thank you. Me? Yeah, you got to work. Hey, great.
All right, we'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. You ready to begin? Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. A mistletoe hung where you can see every couple trying to stop. Rocking around in the Christmas tree, let the Christmas spirit ring. Later we'll have some pumpkin pie and some caroling. You will feel it when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly, deck the halls with balls of holly. You rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone singing merrily in the little old-fashioned way.
A lot of people were taking, I know some of this is some of the.
Yeah, you will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly, deck the halls with balls of holly. Rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone singing